So this is a wonderful occasion, and I'm delighted that you are all here. I'm Ellen Aitken, I'm Dean of the Faculty of Religious Studies, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you, though I think many of you probably know him already, Professor Arvind Sharma, my colleague, and who is also the Burks Professor of Comparative Religion in McGill's Faculty of Religious Studies. He is a prolific author. His H index is one of the highest in the university, apparently, for citations in the humanities. Who knew? Who counts these things? He is a fearless organizer, convener of important gatherings, and you will know of the congresses of the world's religions after September 11th, first in 2006, then in 2011, and now coming up in 2016, which is not so many years from now. So book your calendar for September 15. Thanks, Victoria. 2016. Professor Sharma is a key thinker around really important questions of religion and human rights, Hinduism and human rights, religion and gender, theories of religion, history and expressions of Hinduism, and above all, for tonight's purposes, a scholar of Gandhi. And I think some of you here have taken his course on Gandhi or have been teaching assistants for it. It is immensely popular. And I think that that course and Professor Sharma's work on Gandhi and this book really shows the way Gandhi can be an exemplary figure for us in our times, for helping us think through a number of issues and problems that are very close to home and which are also global. So I look forward to all the reactions to this book. If I might take this opportunity to do a bit of shameless advertising around issues of current concern. Tomorrow afternoon, the faculty is sponsoring a conference on religious freedom in education, starting tomorrow afternoon and running through Saturday. And tomorrow evening at 7:45, as part of that conference, Charles Taylor will be debating Daniel Turp, whom the PQ has put forward on the issues of the Charter of Quebec Values. So that will be happening at Moot Court in the Faculty of Law. So if you don't know about it, go on our website and get information or snag me afterwards. But I think if Gandhi were here, he'd want you to go, right? Right, Arvind? Okay, good, yeah. So, having taken advantage of this platform shamelessly, I'd like to, without further ado, introduce and turn to Arvind Sharma to say some things about his book.
Thanks, Ellen, for the kind words and actually for providing me with the clue to how to start, namely with the class on Gandhi, where it all started. This book we are talking about is totally fortuitous in its origin. I had no idea that I would be writing one, but I did start teaching a course on Gandhi. And as I taught this course year after year, I realized a peculiar element in Gandhi, and that was that he would not give the kind of answer we would expect him to when we asked him certain questions. Like if we complimented him for working for India's independence, he would say, but I'm seeking my salvation. I'm not interested in India's independence. Or he would be complimented for the work he's doing for the former untouchables, he would say, I'm only trying to serve God. And later I found, first of course I thought this was an oddity of a great mind. But then I realized that this seems to be characteristic of several people we would bracket with Gandhi. people like Abraham Lincoln. There's this famous incident from his life when he saw a piglet trapped in a pen. And suit and all, he leapt into the pen and rescued the piglet. And all officers around him and everybody there complimented him on his compassion for the animal. And he said, oh no, I was feeling pained by seeing him in that condition. And all I did was to remove my pain. And it confirmed from the life of Mother Teresa. She was once asked whether she ever wondered when she started her mission, whether it would succeed. And she said, God did not call me to be successful. God called me to be faithful. So I was quite puzzled by this phenomenon from the lives of these great people. It was as if there's a parallel to what they were doing in real life. There's probably a parallel in astronomy where it is said that you see further with the averted gaze. So that, strangely enough, the best way of achieving something might be not by being, especially when it has to do with public service, not by being direct or linear, but by being oblique. And this I found really tantalizing. And that led me to explore the spiritual side of Gandhi's life. Because the answers he would give, the unexpected answers to our questions he would give, would have this spiritual dimension to them. And I guess when somebody writes a book, the two questions you want to know is, why did he write it? Why did somebody write the book? And what does the book tell us? So I've just explained to you how I came to write it. It was with a sense of discovery about the unexpected relationship between cause and effect, which we find in the lives of these people, as compared to how we would look at these situations and our problems and try to solve them. And coming next to what one gets out of the life of Gandhi, of course his great contribution is very well known, non-violent resistance. But it was the events of September 11, 2001, which really foregrounded Gandhi's thought for me, for reconsideration. We must look at him again. Because it might sound very strange, but up to a point, Gandhi would have agreed with Osama. Gandhi would have agreed with Osama that injustice must be fought. And this is what Osama was in his own reckoning doing, fighting American injustice. And we tend to overlook the fact that Gandhi always emphasized that injustice must be fought. The focus has been on that it should be fought non-violently, but he was as insistent that it must be fought or countered. So he would be with Osama up to this point. And where he would part company with him would be as to how it should be contested. And I think Gandhi would say that Osama's way of doing it compounded the issue. Because in choosing the route he did, he took 3,000 innocent lives. That is, when the element of revenge comes into this struggle for justice, or rather, to put it another way, to seek revenge is to become unjust in the pursuit of justice, or to cause injustice in the pursuit of justice. And therefore, one should use non-violent methods. And of course, there is this interesting point about the fact that the incidents we associate with September 11, 2001, of course, are well known to all of us, but it's probably not as well known that it was on the same date that Gandhi launched his first non-violent protest movement in South Africa, on the 11th of September 1906. It's quite a startling coincidence, which also happens to be the date on which Vivekananda delivered his address at the Parliament of World Religions. So as I was reflecting on this, I wondered about what could be Gandhi's relevance to our lives. I mean, which is intuitively obvious to us, but how to say reason in it, or to rationalize it in a sense. And it struck me, and this all is in the context of September 11. Afghanistan figures so prominently in this whole story. But Afghanistan is one of the few countries in the world which has not yet succeeded in forming a viable system of government. Right? For centuries, not just now. Even from the time of Alexander's invasion.